Could this really be the perfect beat-making app? And does such a thing even exist? Well, in this week's video, we're going to be taking a look at Mixvibe's Remixlive app to answer that very question, right after this. Hello and welcome back to the channel, everybody. I am your host, Vortex, from MobileMusicPro.com, your home for mobile music production. And if you are new to the channel, what we do here is release weekly videos teaching people how to produce music on their iOS device. So if you are enjoying this content, please make sure to like, subscribe, and comment down below. But first, real quick, I'd just like to thank Mixvibe so much for sponsoring this video. Make sure you do stick around to the end to find out how you can win an inclusive 1-year subscription to their amazing app. Now, when I first took a look at this app all the way back in 2018, I was already pretty impressed with its intuitive workflow and easy-to-use interface. And actually, it turns out that these guys have been making apps all the way back since 2012, so by now they pretty much know what they're doing. But then after the guys at Mixvibes reached out to me to do a video, I took a bit of a closer look and I was just blown away by the amount of progress that they've made in just the past couple of years. Like guys, this is pretty much a full-blown DAW now, not even joking. You can just do so much with it already. But then they decided to also exponentially increase their sample pack library, literally giving you access to now tens of thousands of samples royalty-free. Alright, and now with all that yapping about, let's start actually hopping into the app and find out just what makes it so special. Now, though we'll be demoing the app here on the iPad, you can actually use it on a bunch of other devices, including the iPhone, Android, and macOS. So first up, what we want to do is walk you guys through the main interface here, which is going to include the looper, sequencer, drum app, and song mode. And then we'll explore some more advanced features, including sampling and hooking up your own MIDI controllers. Alright, so now let's go ahead and get started. So at the heart of the app here, you're going to find your loops. This is the main interface that you'll probably find yourself in the most. This is where you can trigger any type of loop that you'd like, including leads, bass, drums, one-shots, and more. Now you can actually trigger an entire row pretty simply by just dragging your finger across, or you can trigger them one by one by just tapping on them. You can also choose how you're going to quantize this as well. So you can tap on the options here at the top right hand corner and then scroll down here to where it says loop grid quantize right here. Now I currently have this set on 1, so it's actually going to allow me to trigger this pretty simply on every single beat. But you can choose more here. You can make it quicker or you can make it slower. So if I tap on 4, for example, that means when I trigger another loop, it's not going to come in for another 4 bars. And we'll show you what we mean by that. So let's exit these settings here, close this. Now what I want you to pay attention to is how fast I can now trigger these pads if I have it set to only 1 beat. Alright, so hopefully you saw there how quickly I brought in and out those leads. I was able to switch those up pretty quickly, kind of enabling that sampling vibe. Now before we do move on to the rest of the modes, I do want to show you guys the effects tab here in the bottom right hand corner. Once you tap the effects, that enables an entire FX screen here. And this is going to allow you to play your effects in real time over the top of the song, whether you're on the loop page, sequencer page, drum page, or the song mode page. You're going to find some amazing sounding effects in here, including filter, delay, flanger, reverb, whoosh, and much more. And these aren't just your standard regular effects. For example, this Dusty LP sounds really, really good. It's not just a standard low-pass filter, there is some extra sauce in here. And there's a bunch of sauce in the whoosh and just the regular filter here as well. You'll also find an easy-to-use beat repeat function and an FX routing table where you can choose exactly which pads you'd like to apply these effects to. By default, it is set to master, so it will be applying it to all the different pads. Okay, so now let's try to play with some of these effects. Alright, so as you saw there, just a ton of fun can be had playing with these effects in real time. So now let's go ahead and move on to the sequencer page by tapping on the sequencer at the top of the screen. Now what's great about the sequencer page is you can actually launch these clips alongside your loops. So for example, if you like the sounds in here but don't like some of the patterns, you can just go to the sequencer page and create your own patterns. You can see we've created a drum pattern right here, so we'll tap the edit button. And since that was the last sequence that we tapped, it will then show up in our editor mode by default. You can then tap on any other sequence and edit that accordingly. The sequencer, of course, will give you access to all of the sounds. Here you can see the drum sounds laid out in orange, red, and yellow. But if we scroll down, we can see we have access to all these other sounds, including the basses, chords, and much more. Now this sequencer gives you a bunch of other options that you'd find in a regular DAW as well. So if we go to the second page here, you can see that you can adjust your velocity, offset, duration, roll, and pitch. It will by default show whichever sound that you currently have selected in your step sequencer here. You can see that we have the snare selected. So if we tap on the additional settings now, you can see that we do have the snare. You can also easily cycle through these with the up and down arrows above. So very cool to have this advanced stuff at our fingertips. If we move on to the final page here, you can see that this is where we can quantize and then set the length of the sequence, which is currently set to 8 beats. Okay, now that we know what a sequence is, let's go ahead and launch some of these alongside of our loops. So first we'll hide the editor here, go to the loop page, and enable some chords and leads, and then we'll go back to the sequences and enable some drums. So just really great and fantastic how you can move back and forth there between these loops and sequences. Now, in addition to being able to record your own custom sequences, you can also choose from some that come with the project. So if we choose a blank sequence here, and then tap on the browse, we can go into projects here, and then go into clap. And here you can see we can have access to all of these different clap sequences. And we just load one in by tapping on load. So very cool being able to choose from sequences that you've previously created, as well as sequences that come with the pack. So now let's move on to the next section, which is going to be the drum section. Now this is just what it looks like. It is a drum pad controller, essentially allowing you to trigger any of the sounds that you have in this project. It's really easy to just start playing. Now what's really cool is that all of these samples here in our drum page can be used to record sequences in your sequencer page. So recording a new sequence is super simple. So first we'll just go to our drum page here, and we'll tap on our recording. And here you can choose to record to your sequences or to your song mode, which we'll get to in just a bit. But for now, let's choose our sequences. So all you have to do is tap on the record button, and then choose a place where you'd like to place your sequence, and then begin recording. It's just that simple. So let's go to loop, enable a couple of sounds here, and then start recording some drums. Tap on record button, choose where we'd like to place this sequence, tap on start, and here you go. And then to exit, you just tap on the exit button here. And now let's go ahead and take a look at our sequence. So we'll just go to the sequence, tap on sequence 7 here is what we recorded. You can see it is drums because of the colors that is used here. And we'll tap on edit. And you can see this is what we recorded. So if I don't want that extra snare there, I can just tap on that and delete it. And then if you'd like to delete your sequence, which you can do at any time, you just tap on the unload button. And you're left with the menu to create a brand new sequence. Now another cool thing that you can do inside of this drum pad is actually play sounds with the keyboard. So we can choose one of these synths here. And we just tap on our keyboard at the bottom left-hand corner. And now we can actually start playing this synth. And this will work with any sound that you import in here as well. And this keyboard is actually really cool because you can choose the scale or the keys. You can see we've chosen the scale here, and it will pick by default whatever you currently have your project set to, so that while you play, you can never be out of key. All right, very cool. Now we can move on to the final screen, which is going to be the song mode. Now the song mode is just what it looks like. Here you can arrange all of your sequences and your loops into a full-on song. This is part of the app that really starts to make it feel like a full-on DAW. Now this particular free project called Trap City already has a song nice and arranged out for you. As you can see, they are using some loops here, and they're using some sequences down here below. And you can also see some one-shots used over here. You can easily move all around the viewport here, as you can see, just by using your finger. You can even zoom in and out with your pinch and zoom. And you can even choose to have the project follow you when you hit play with the button on the top right-hand corner here. You'll have all of your familiar controls that you have in pretty much every single DAW, including your play and stop buttons here, your undo and redo to the right of that, and then just to the right of that, you'll have your cut and paste and delete options. You can even loop a section of the song by tapping on the loop button here and dragging the left and right handlebars wherever you'd like. So we can loop just a specific section here, like this little 8-bar section right here. And just navigate to that section over here and hit play. So super simple and straightforward, again, controls that we're used to in most DAWs. Now you might be asking, how do you get all these different clips arranged out here? Well, that becomes super simple because all you have to do is hit the record and you can record them right in. So let's start fresh by selecting everything here and deleting it. We'll disable loop mode here, go back to the beginning of the project, then we go to our loop page, and then we'll go to our record options by tapping the down arrow next to where it says record. And unlike before where we recorded sequences, now we're going to record directly onto our song page. So let's tap on song, and now all we have to do is hit the record button here. Right, there we go. Now let's go to our song mode. And here we can see what we've just recorded. We'll just zoom in a bit and move that to the left. And there you go. Now we can just play this back from the very beginning. Now you might be thinking to yourself right now, where is the draw button? How do I enter these sequences manually without recording? Well, to do that, you just simply go to your file browser here at the bottom right-hand side. And then from here, you can choose which track that you want, and then which sound on that specific track. So as you can see, if we go to the loop here, we have 8 different tracks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And let's say, for example, we wanted to throw in the FX shift here. So we'll go to our song mode. We'll go to track 8. And then here is that FX shift. So we can simply long tap here and drag this right into our project. But that is not all. You can also drag in your sequences as well. So you can see we have a couple of sequences here. We can drag in, for example, our custom sequence 2. So we'll go to the song, we'll go to track 1, and there it is, our custom sequence 2, that we can then just long tap on and drag directly into our project. So there you go, super simple to begin arranging all of your different loops and sequences. All right, very cool. Now, once you do have your song completely arranged out and ready to go, and you're nice and happy with it, you can then begin to share that out and export the stems by tapping on the share button here in the top right-hand corner. You can then give your song a title and a description, and even replace the image if you'd like. And it's just that simple. Once you're done, you can tap on close. And that's pretty much all there is to the song mode. Now, before I do start showing you how to import your own custom samples here, I do want to first check out their library, as they do have tons and tons of sounds available. So to begin exploring these thousands and thousands of sounds, all you have to do is tap on the project name at the top of the app. That will bring up all your recent projects as well as your recent recordings. And then on the right-hand side is where you're going to find all these different packs. For example, you can just choose trending here or one of these categories, and then scroll to the right and start seeing all these different packs here. We can even go to the best of 2021 here and start scrolling to the right and find out what is the most popular of last year. Now you can see we have downloaded a couple here, as indicated by this check mark, so we can tap on the pop punk here. This will give you a description and a quick sound demo. So you'll be able to hear exactly the vibe that they're going for here, as well as all the details like the BPM, key, and number of loops and sequences. Now, if you'd like to begin exploring with genres or do a search or something like that to find exactly what you're looking for, you can begin tapping on one of these tags. For example, we can tap on guitar, and that will show us all the packs that have the guitar tag. Or we could delete this out and just type in synth and have access to a ton of different types of synth packs. Now, if you instead don't want to search and just browse by genres, you can tap on the browse right here to the left of the search. And here you can see you can start browsing by genres, artists, and studios. So we'll just tap on trap here. You can see this is now returning all the packs that are in the trap category that have a synth tag as well. But let's remove that synth tag for now. We could tap on that browse button again and untap trap. And that will take us to the default page here. We can see again, we have all these trending, hot new packs, best of 2021, and so forth. So let's just listen to a couple more of these here. How about some boom bap? So just super high quality stuff here. Ooh, cyberpunk, let's try that.
System shut down.
All right, very cool. Now for those that don't have a subscription, some of these packs are completely free. You can see here the Massive Bass and Bass House are free to download. The other packs will cost money, but again, if you do have the subscription, you'll have access to all of those packs. So now that we have explored some of the sounds that you can find inside of the app, let's now show you how to import your own sounds. Now Mixvibe makes it super easy to import your sounds into any one of these tabs here, including the looping tab, sequence tab, and drum tab. So let's start out with the loop tab first, as the process ends up being very similar no matter what page you're on. So let's tap on the folder here in the bottom right hand corner. This is going to reveal your sample browser. You can see you can choose from recommendations, packs, instruments, projects, or your own collection. Now if we tap on recommendations, this is going to give you options based on what project that you currently have open. You can also choose from all of the packs that you currently have, or even dial in specific instruments. And you get a pretty big selection here, including bass, bell, claps, guitars, and much, much more. So let's choose one of these. How about a Vox fill? We can audition that by simply tapping on play. I don't think I want to use that one. Let's try the Vox Nomad. All right, let's try that one. When you find a sample that you're happy with, you just tap on load, and that will load to whatever pad that you have selected. Now again, that was using a sample from one of these pre-made packs, which you can also go to My Collection and tap on the three dots here in the top right-hand corner and choose Import. Here you can choose to import files from your audio copy, your music collection, or your file browser by tapping on Browse. And here you just select one of your sounds, but we're going to hit cancel on this for now. Now once you have your sound loaded in, you just tap on that edit button once again, and here you have full control over your sample. You can use the handles to dial in exactly what you'd like to hear. You can fade in or fade out. And then with these other two screens here, you have additional options. We tap on the middle screen, you can see you can set the timing options. You can speed this up or slow this down, and choose to time stretch this by default or not. And then finally on the last page here, you can choose to make this sample either a loop or a one-shot or gate. Now because I only want the first part of this loop, I'm actually going to make this a one-shot. And then you can adjust the volume here. Let's make this a little quieter. Of course, you can pan it left or right, and then adjust the pitch with the semitones here. And that is about it. So we can tap on this now to audition this sound. All right, that was simple enough. Now let's show you how to import different sounds on your drum pads. So just like the loops here, you can choose any one of these pads and tap on the edit button and have access to all those same sample settings. But what I want to do now is add a new drum sound. So let's replace the crash. So we'll go to the crash sound here. And then we'll go to the file browser. So we'll go to the My Collection and let's find a cymbal. And here we have a couple of cymbals that we've imported from our brand new Kick It drum pack. We'll choose one of these. Again, we can audition this by tapping on play. Okay, so let's use that one and tap on load. We'll close the sample browser, and now tapping on that should play our sound that we just imported. All right, very cool. We can even adjust a couple things here. So for example, I think that's a little loud. So we'll go to the edit page here. We'll go to the gain and pitch settings page. And let's just turn this gain down a little bit. There we go. And that's how simple it is to import your own sounds. Now that you are more familiar with the app, let's go ahead and use it to remix a song. Now the song that we will be remixing is Whip by Brascanal. Apologies if we are butchering that producer name, but there will be a link to it in the description below. So now to begin remixing a song, what we'll do is we'll navigate to our projects page by tapping on the project name at the top of the screen. And what we're going to do is start a new project. Here you can choose to start a new project from scratch, start from a previously created pack, or you can use the app's AI technology to begin remixing a song. So we'll choose that here. And now we've navigated to the song we'd like to choose, so let's tap on that. Now this will just take a few seconds, and it will analyze your song and break it down into drums, bass, melody, and vocals. All right, and it has finished analyzing the song, and it has split it up into 6 regions. You can edit any one of these regions by just tapping on it, and then you can use the handles to drag. So now that we've got our first region set, let's set our second region here to get this just about right. And again, these don't have to be perfectly exact because you can always adjust the audio in the sample editor like we showed you before. Once you are happy with these different regions, you can then tap on Save. And as you can see, that has divided all those sounds from those 6 different regions onto my 8 different pads. And then you can easily hear what they sound like by simply tapping on them. Now from here, you can easily begin building your remix loop by loop. Now we've already previously imported this song and created a bit of a remix with it. As you can see, we moved a few sounds around and added a few sounds of our own. We added our own kick and snare loop, as well as our own hat loop. We've also modified a couple of these loops to cut off at specific points here. You can see we've modified this one to only be 4 bars long, as opposed to the full loop that it was before. We've also done this with another guitar loop here. If we zoom out, you can see exactly the section that we are looping here. And again, another 4-bar loop. And then we've taken that and we've reduced that even further down here to just a 2-bar loop. After that, we chose an FX sound from a different pack from Remixlive. And finally, we modified the bass sound as well over here to just be 8 bars long. If we zoom out, we can see this had some other stuff on there. So the goal was basically to remix this trap song into more of a pop rock song. Now we can head on over to song mode and see how we arranged all of these different loops and sounds. You can see we have our kick and snare, our hats, our bass loop, our muted guitar arpeggio loop, and then our main guitar loop here in pink, some of our one-shots here like our vocal stabs, and then that additional guitar loop right here. All right, so now let's hear what this sounds like. Again, I tried to turn a bit of a trap song into a pop rock song. So let's hit play.
You know who made it.
All right, folks, there you go. That just is how simple it is to remix a song. Now, another really cool feature about Remixlive is its support for MIDI controllers. And you'd be surprised just how much of the app you can control with that MIDI controller. Now, we have a Novation Launchpad hooked up, so we're going to show you how to navigate the app with that. But you can always map pretty much any function to any part of any controller that you'd like. So first up, of course, you can launch any of the clips in the loop mode just by tapping on the buttons. and then you can pause it at any time by pressing the third play button from the bottom, and press it again to keep playing. Now, in addition to being able to launch clips, you can actually navigate through the different screens. So to do that, you simply tap on the top buttons here in the top row. So for example, we have these top 4 buttons here on the top right-hand corner, and we'll tap the one all the way to the right. That will bring you to your song mode. The one next to that will bring you to your drum mode. The one next to that, the sequencer mode. And finally, the one next to that, back to your original loop mode. Now there's also a few play buttons here on the side, on the top of the controller, that will bring up various screens like your effects. So if we tap on the first one here, you can see that will bring up your volume, or your mixer rather, and then tapping on the second one here will bring up your effects, and then tapping on the third one will bring up your piano roll inside of the drum page. And of course you can always hide that once again, and then bring up your loop page. I also forgot to mention as well that right next to your loop page, you can also bring up your projects by tapping on one button over from that. And there's a whole lot of additional functions that you can do with this controller, but that's all we have time for this video. So definitely make sure to download the app and try the controller out for yourself. And now I'd like to go over the various purchasing options for this app, because it can get a little confusing. So as we said before, you do have the option of having a subscription. Now I know most people don't like subscriptions, but when I fully describe it, I think you'll see that this is a pretty good deal. Now right away you'll notice that you'll see a bunch of the free packs, but below that, you'll see that you can get everything and go premium. What you get with this is access to all the packs and all the features. That's right, every single sample pack that they have, you can have access to. Now, if you're one of those people that don't like subscriptions, you can scroll down and see that you can purchase all of these individual features one at a time. So for example, you can see that we have a special deal bundle. When you tap on that, you can see that that is $18 for all these features, including import, export, record, transpose, and more. But there are many more features that the development team has added over the years, and each one of these features are pretty significant. So you can again purchase these individually or get a subscription to have access to all of these features at once. Now, even if you did purchase all of these different features, you'll see all these different effects, the different AI remix features, the MIDI controls, and so forth. If you were to purchase all of these individually, it would run you around $72 US. Now that might seem expensive at first, but what you are paying for is all of the development that they've done for years and years and years. So you can pay them all up front for all of that work that they've done for years and years to get these features to you, or you can just pay a little bit up front and get that monthly subscription and still have access to everything right there. Now, if you did want to go the subscription route, all you have to do is tap on Go Premium to get everything. And here you can see that you have an option of a monthly or a yearly subscription. Once you do purchase the subscription, you'll have access to all the features, all the FXs, and again, 26,000 plus sample packs in their sound library. But once again, folks, the subscription model is completely optional. You can purchase all of these features one by one, and you can purchase the sample packs one by one as well. So in my opinion, that's a pretty good deal. I just really love the fact that the developer gives you the option to choose a subscription model or purchase everything one by one. The choice is completely up to you guys. All right, and now it's time again for our final thoughts. And if you are still rocking with us, then we just can't thank you enough for being here, especially those folks that are here every single Wednesday and Friday to watch our live streams and our live premieres. Now, though this video was sponsored, we of course want to give it to you straight over here at Mobile Music Pro. And honestly, this app really is fire, and I may have to begin incorporating it into my day-to-day production workflow. It's just really hard not to be tempted to organize my entire sample library in their amazing sample browser. Now, I do hope that this video has convinced you that there is features here for both pros and novices alike, and just a ton of fun to be had in general. All you have to do is take a look at Mixvibe's YouTube channel to see how many updates they actually do. Plus, they are constantly expanding their sound library as well. And on top of all that, the app is actually completely free to try. Now, if you'd like to win your copy of a full 1-year subscription with access to all the features that they have and access to all of their sound packs, all you have to do is comment down below on what you think about this app and how you'd incorporate it into your production workflow. We'll then pick one random winner about 48 hours after the video has premiered, so we are wishing you the very, very best of luck. As we said, we are always launching new stuff and having new contests, giveaways, and more, so if you do want to keep up with everything that we are doing at the channel, definitely make sure to subscribe to our completely free newsletter at MobileMusicPro.com/newsletter. And so, until next time everybody, keep talking music, and we'll see you later. Hey everybody, Vortex here, and if you're not aware yet, we now have over 100 fully edited mobile music tutorial videos. And we make music every single Wednesday live on our channel right inside of CUBASIS on our iPad. Plus, we also have a bunch of free sample packs, guides, and more at our website at MobileMusicPro.com/free. And so if you are into that sort of thing, producing music on your iPhone or iPad, then definitely make sure to subscribe and check out the rest of the videos on the channel that we know you'll love.